our official Match 2 on the way. And we've already known all the coverage of areas of water and terrains. And you know it as well as I do that this will be one hell of a fight.
Yep, so all the best to all the teams right now. First time they're going to play on this map officially today. So we will take a look at the flight path really soon. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Flight path looks like it's okay, a little bit iffy there because a lot of water is covered by the flight path. But of course, before we talk a little bit more on the flight path, we'd like to take our observers. Observer Director 299 already, XCYR and then GEK, as well as Topcast and Zai. Thank you so much for bringing the action to us. One more game before our director actually hits the 300 mark.
Oh yeah, and we gotta really give them that big shout out because he's been covering so many of all these stuff for us, not only for this tournament as well. I've seen him around, and he has definitely been that veteran to actually lead the directory of the camps. And now with this sort of a flight hitting from Lipovka in towards Primos, it will cut off some entry points of Georgia Pool, like teams like Geek Fam. They like to actually go there, but where will their plan be? Would hit them to?
Well, like usual, Bigetron and that is always on the south side of the map. We're looking at Rose Esport, actually quite different this time. So there's no Bapa, so they took over Milta power, usually dropped by Bapa, so that's a very smart move. They kind of know how to read the sequence of the falls now. But nobody will be in Savannah this time since they choose Mr. Power. But the rest of the team, this is kind of a very good circle to start with. Just on top of the flight path, but still covering a lot of water ratio there.
Oh yeah, and it looks to me that there's a lot of all these playable areas still. Whether if that circle goes into the island or if it goes into the mainland, I do think that there will be some of all these teams over on the western end that will crowd the lower hills of Gatka, where of course some of all these farms are at from the side of Quarry, or even race to that patrol station and get themselves locked down. And let's talk about Liren here. Of course, Tower Proyecto X got themselves yet another chicken dinner, totaling up to 4, and of course he has been securing all these loads of kills for his team.
Yep, talking about the circle earlier, I have a little bit of a different opinion to Chuchu. It reminds me of our previous map, Sandhook Circle as well, where there is a possibility of again 2 lands being divided by the river, and that we may see a repeat of that.
Yeah, we've seen this kind of circle. I think it was yesterday as well, where the bridge is kind of inside of it and in the middle of it. Hopefully it won't end it up there. I do really want to see that bridge fight so much, but I have to be the neutral part today because I'm the middle person here. So hopefully it will be a little bit more beautiful circle for the players. But back to Yoodo Manparong, he's actually scouting over the area. For the rest of the team is nowhere to be seen. And match 1 just now being won by no other than Tara. In case you guys missed it, it was Sunhawk map. Note that. And look at this, some teams like Yoodo Gang themselves are going to be returning super late here.
Oh yeah, and of course Yoodo Gang will have to take the north point pretty much very far away. Same goes to Steel Hearts, which is by the edge. Some players are still heading in towards Kameshki, so it will definitely be quite a trouble for them because they got to run through teams like Tone Wow, Tower Proyecto X, EVOS, and over on the east side we have, of course, Miss Rose, who just needs to find a way to either go up the hill to get past the side of Bosskurr or have to take the fight.
Well, the camping definitely will happen on the eastern side. It will be a little bit tricky for BTR as well as Net as well. They will definitely need to cross through the bridge. I'll be a little bit worried for BTR, to be honest, because they may need to meet up with Traitor on the other side as well as Bosskurr. So it's going to be tricky for them. But of course, I don't deny that it's also really tough for these teams that are being circled right now to get into the actual safe zone.
But right now what interests me is how Geek Fam kind of fan themselves on the west side of the map, quite separated against each other. And that's quite a good formation if you ask me, in quite a decent map or big map like this. You can gain so many informations based on the different angles of a circle. So knowing that where your team's coming in and where are the rest coming up from, I think, but the risk is that you might have to engage yourself in a 1v4 situation, or maybe more than that, worst case scenario.
I do believe that, of course, there are that pros and cons to dropping in towards the west end, and I absolutely agree with Chuchu right there that sometimes some of these players get themselves hung up with a lot of all these sort of pretty difficult scenarios, such as early on in that scrim matchup. Did Bosskurr actually suspected any sort of visitors into its territory? Not exactly. And when you actually get yourself challenged with new territories to actually claim, especially for the side of Geek fan, which from the past couple of games they like to actually take Georgia Pool, knowing that they can't take Georgia Pool and they were thrown off into somewhere else, of course, leaves them pretty much uncertain to what exactly to do. So it's more of like all these plannings that they have to go through to find their way to victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with Contra as well on that. It is sometimes very difficult as well to know because people are just throwing the dice. We can see that there are some rotations that we do not normally see as well. Yeah, there are some consistencies with some teams liking their favorite places, like how we see BTR, Net, as well as Team Secret. But there are some of the other teams who may not find much success in their landing spot. We do see some rotations happening, just like how we see in Miss Rose Esport there. Those are some things.
Well, worst case scenario, when fighting against B group, they have or the other teams that like for example Papa R themselves, they have no other choice because we've seen how many of the teams try to mark their territory in the first couple of days here, and one of them, Rose Esports Syndicate, just didn't manage to dominate that territory by themselves and being forced to retreat up to Savini. And when Bapa is not around, they know that Miltapau will not be occupied whatsoever. So why don't you just take the advantage instead? You know Miltapau gears and equipment are quite decent there, but looking at the current situation of a circle, still Heart's gonna rotate a little bit late here, might bump into while around Yasnaya. On the other hand, Yoodo will go around shooting range, going a little bit on the west side, which is kind of a smart move instead of cutting through straight into Rawsock, because chances are there's a lot of gatekeeping around Rawsock if they just go cutting straight into there.
Oh, I definitely will agree with that. And over on the western end is definitely open terrains for the side of Yoodo gang to actually enter across, because Ruins is absolutely empty and there are still some very, very slight chances that it might have that circle bounce all the way over on the northern point. So who knows, there might just be that sort of a huge contest in towards the corners of Pachinki, because EVOS is hanging there, there's ESG, and of course Traitor lurking right behind those hills.
And now just looking at the middle of this circle, it looks like a lot of teams, they are going towards the middle. Pachinki is one of the popular places, as we all know.
I literally just pointed at you. I think the last circle will be in Pachinki. I don't know why. I just have a feeling and a hunch, you know.
Oh, you don't want that bridge fight?
But the thing is, you know how good Team Secret are in Pachinki. They know every nook and cranny. Pretty much, it's like the back of their hand. They're born and being raised in Pachinki, basically. Even the identity cards written there, I'm from Pachinki, nationality Pachinki all the way. So yeah.
Pachinkian. I am definitely certain that they will be.
Pachinkas. I'm coming from Pachinki, so I'm a Pachinkas. So yeah, that's nationality. Who doesn't want it, right?
Well, they must be really cheeky there. Okay, I'm trying to put a punch up, but okay, fine.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, it's okay, Cloud. I got your back this time. But ESG, look at that. They try to challenge Team Secret this time. Interesting.
Oh yeah, yes indeed. And you were asking for a bridge fight, and it is also ready for that bridge fight, because they've been lurking around for a long time, but Last Survivor has been keeping a really close eye upon that bridge, because they know if they need to pass, they will have to go through NED first, and they've already let loose a couple of bullet taps coming from the side of Yichang so far, and we're looking at all these sort of vehicles parked perfectly behind that station, hoping it not to explode. Of course, if you were to park it right in front, there are chances where NED could just easily punish them.
Yes, that could possibly happen as well. We do see, oh, the circle is moving a little bit away from Pachinki. So we may see now that circle could possibly be in the middle of somewhere between Pachinki and Quarry. That's one thing as well. Ferry Pier, somewhere around that triangle.
Just not very pure, just not very pure. You know it will be including water fight there. You've seen yesterday last game, but it just has to be inside of a water. Half of a circle, the last one is kind of in a circle.
Oh yeah, there's one team, Papa, if I remember, they had no choice but to go to swim. So Didn't look good for them.
Yeah, swimming ducks. Just
well,
being fished.
Yeah, sometimes it's never wise to actually take those deep dives, but we're looking at so many of these crowds actually clumping up that northern point all the way up to the east side. I think it's definitely going to be some traffic jams across, but Traitor Esports will be able to actually nail some bullets over on the side of Miss Rose Syndicate.
Oh yes, Miss Rose Syndicate now looks like they may meet up with Traitor Esports really soon. The buggy moves quickly, but looks like everyone will evade each other. Their objective now looks like, wow, you can see here, most of the teams, their objective is trying to secure the inner circle as center as possible so that it will help them in terms of their rotation later on. No one really wants to fight from the outer to the inside.
Oh, yeah.
Still hot. They just marching into Bigetron. Look at that straightaway spray with the holoscope. Zali making sure he putting off a lot of pressure on the side of Steel Hearts. Shushing away, denying the entry point entirely, being forced back into the open ground. Steel Hearts kind of being segregated with the pressure, giving up from a Bigetron straight away.
Well, of course, we're looking at Bigetron here, still having pretty much hopeful chances to actually go through, but oh, Still Hearts will lose one UAZ, and Boyka has been keeping such a sharp eye over on the top side of the church, and who knows what can he actually pull up. Maybe he just have that 8 times to actually tap on the side of Yoodo.
Oh, that's definitely possible. That's why we do see a Yoodo. He's being really cautious. Plus, he only has a level 1 helmet. This is not going to help it if he got tapped any headshots from that distance. Definitely. And now moving on to Geek fam. They are really close with DivinityEsports. Just across them. It's probably going to be hard for Divinity to see Geek fam at this point, but then again, looks like Divinity, they also don't want to stay in that location. They have their wheels geared up and ready to go.
Yep, and the rest of Geek fam are climbing over the hills. I think they're trying to dominate this, but have to go against Divinity anytime soon. At the same time, Steel Hearts trying to make another move. They were being denied their entrance towards the Bigetron outskirts of Pachinki. Now trying to find another home for them to camp in. Yoodo, on the other hand, just wait for the great time to just come in. So making sure they're not engaged way too early. 16 teams still in the game. Only one unlucky player already out.
Oh yeah, and as for Manparan right here, look at how tough it is. He's all alone against some members of XP, and we can see that the rest of Yoodo GANK is actually moving off. Maybe we'll be able to provide him enough cover and eventually take off against XP.
Yep, and now we do see 2 different teams here. EVOS versus Last Survivor. They're close by, but I don't think so. They know they are around or nearby each other, so everyone just looking and keeping a close eye on if anyone were to come into their compound. But now just looking at the circle again, Ferropia is still a possibility, although it's really small, but it may end up in an open field here. Okay,
just wish it's in an open field. It's more fun to watch in an open field because there's not much cover with the flat kind of a terrain there, but then Ferropia will be a really tough spot to play because there's so many water there and the shores too. But looking at this, they are already open up pre-shoot fires here. XPERT chasing just behind. They are tailing Tara from behind. That's a bold move coming up from XPERT MY.
Yeah, and of course, they might actually get themselves in towards some tricky places. As we see, EVOS members are pretty much dealing with the rest of Last Survivor. A little bit of that sort of takedown coming in, as there will be smokes being covered up from the side of Razor, and they should be back on track. But Yakuza, of course, still needs a little bit of that sort of lift, and they might just actually see themselves pretty much needing to hit off to elsewhere.
Oh, Kuza and Razor now in trouble. Kuza needs to be revived, but I think they will manage to pull off the revive onto him. Now moving over to Steel Hearts. They may bump into another team really soon. We have Expert MY close by, but Expert MY may just want to evade this fight because there's still 16 teams, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to drop out at this point because it means minimal points for you.
Oh, on that red dot straight. That was a beautiful spray. Clipped so many on top of that net. Engaging with no other than Divinity on their knees now, and this is not looking great. Juggernaut lobby as well. The first team straight out in the lobby, none other than Divinity. Sorry, Cloud. I just told you not to pick them way too early today.
Let me just look at how Eaple, Samzy, as well as the rest of Entity Esports, so sharp on their sprays, and it looks as if there was no recall at all. They were so certain that they can take out Divinity, and Divinity, unfortunately now sits out of the game, as we see EVOS Esports still hungering for that kill against Last Survivor. They know they're in there, but they could not find a way to push right in, because though they are inside the house, they have the vantage point. If they were to peek longer through those windows, who knows, they can connect those dots and just hit them right back.
Should they push right in, because it's quite difficult, because there's structure there. Yes, they do have the high ground, but they don't have the vision, plus the circle may just close in right after this. We're a little bit more before we find out the next circle as well. Do you want to fight, especially in those moments?
Oh, BOB is spraying all the way, making sure they're being flipped. That was a beautiful one, actually, but Bosskurr on the other end just managed to get away, but he's still not letting it go. Almost exploded, if I'm not mistaken, there, Buggy. He really needs to get it up, but Drax being ambushed by Geek from the back. Look at that, rushing in with so many vehicles coming up behind.
Spray downs after spray downs coming in from the side of Yoodo gang, but it will be Manpower destroying the vehicle of Bosskurr away, as there is already all the bullets being shot through from the side of Biu, so he got a team secret for that, but there will still be a little bit of lift off. And speaking of which, that will be Jumper actually taking off High, but he will still be left out in the open. Not too sure whether or not can Team Secret survive out of this.
Well, Jumper here wants to prove who's the younger star here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we do see Jumper. He's just jumping left and right, trying to find the right angle onto Yuhai. The next grenade will go out onto Yuhai. Yuhai is knocked down, and looks like Yuhai is in trouble. Will be taken out by Jumper.
That is a total flush for Team Secret. I can see how unhappy Matoy is. They're just next to us, by the way. Don't stare at me with that killer stare, Matoy. I didn't do anything wrong here, but yep, he's really unhappy about it. Yoodo, on the other hand, have to move super fast, because they know they will be ambushed by another team if they are overstaying way too long.
Yeah, a really rough day for the side of Team Secret so far. Of course, there's still more games to come, so for all of you fans who are still hoping for the best for them. But that's going to be a huge nade, actually destroying the rest of Traitor, and that will be them over on the side of 14 spot, while NED course, have a really great place to actually play around with. They are still inside the circle, and they don't really need to move off anywhere for now.
Yep, they don't need to. Circle is really kind to them, but not kind to the other team members of EVOS. They need to move into the circle, but they will pass by Steelhearts, who is still camping here just behind the stone. We do see Pan here, and on the other side there are the team members of Last Survivor. Everyone's trying to get really close with each other. Anytime a fight can happen.
Yeah, only trees between them, and the terrain a little bit hillside here. I do see a couple of teams are not contested, but Kuza, that's a big nick, clipping more than half HP at that state. Tara, they got themselves one chicken dinner, but they are hungry for more. But at the same time, their condition is not that beautiful. Looking at who is rushing right in here, we have another team, which is Yoodo gang, happen to land themselves right in front of Tara, and Geek trying to go against who is abusing that hillside.
We can see that Tonwao is just trolling right behind the very pure edges here, and they need a way to actually get in towards a little bit of a compound before the rest of Geek fam drops even more nades. And if that lucky nade connects, then it definitely will hurt them even more so in terms of positioning. And we look at how Geek fam played out so far through the rest of the tournament. They always get themselves ready for those battles from multiple angles. Look, like Naoki right now, he's looking by the corners of the beach, and he already knows that there's a couple more inside of the lockdown. And here comes Hydra with a big nade. Can he actually land this one though?
Oh, looks like the nades go up but did not connect enough. But that gives enough information to the rest of the team members on the other side that Hydra is around the corner, and they may go for the pursuit here. And now switching over to Jumper. Looks like Jumper is still hanging out in an open field, just with a vehicle in front of him to block any line of sight. But the blue circle will still close in from behind, but it's still quite a distance there. Now we do see the circle has closed in, and it's not on the side of Jumper and the rest of Yoodo gang.
And Nat kind of actually hold that ground quite well, but you do have to go through so many teams. But oh, look at that. Nat managed to get knocked down by Bossway. Surprisingly, they have never been able to knock so many people down. But Nat, this is a great team that you can knock down, so that's a big achievement there for Bossway. Yoodo, on the other hand, are trying to just go against Tara. Still hot. just have to be in between.
A lot of all these teams actually have to go towards the corners of Yoodo gang, but here comes Last Survivor actually taking out High Gold with a headshot as well. And the rest of them are actually snaking it out inside of those bushes, but Last Survivor here definitely can try their luck. Lobbing one nade in towards the air will not connect to anything at all, but Jumper will be able to find one member off the side of Tara, which means there's only one more left, and the rest of Tara, after that chicken dinner, has crashed out.
Wow, amazing play from Jumper indeed, but then again, how long will it last? Because the rest of the opponents is closing in from behind. Fredo here, Drax looks like he's been knocked out. He will need to revive there. Fredo may go for a Jumper, immediately uses the first aid kit. Last Survivor may come for the flank. ZYKZ is just coming across. Mamparang is still fronting it, but then again, it's still really difficult for Yoodo gang because EVOS VIP is coming from the other side as well. Still have to come in front.
This is unfair for Yoodo. So many teams trying to corner them. Look at that. Still Hearts being charged right upon EVOS VIP. Last Ichong, they try to throw the nades away, but will it hit Yoodo gang, who was trying to stay as long as possible. But at the same time, we have Bigetron out of the game and EVOS VIP just going for it for Still Hearts. And it seems like still going for Nat versus ESG now. Last Ichong, they are trying to engage with more. Look at it. Yoodo are clamped up between these two teams. Where are they going to go and run or get away out of this?
And we can see that Manpower has already soaked in a little damage. One more nade heading towards a broken vehicle right there. Way too close for comfort for the side of Yoodo members. But EVOS VIP squad having Putra on the lookout here. They are just heading by the edge here, looking for more members from the side of Tonewell. Here comes Kuza on that sort of approach as he will try to look for 7-up as well, pointing that sort of hollow sight over on the other corner here as he will try to finish them off, but there's too much smokes for coverage.
Yes, too much coverage there. That's what holding Tonewell Esports at their location. At the same time, Kuza trying to find another angle, hopefully find another team, but again, Jumper is just moving in the middle of the action at this moment. On the left, on the right, it's just full of people. Just look at the map. It's a full line of colors there, while at the same time, the blue zone is actually closing in.
Man, that parallel lining up of the circle.
Oh
my goodness! ESG! Pamburu hits a bull's big eye there. He is a hunter after all.
How many meters was that? I mean,
4,000.
He shot that off from that corner of the map where nobody see it coming, and Jumper was like, do I prone left, do I prone left, right? And all those shots actually connected, but here comes. And he is
that was really unfortunate. Yipple is straight away running out of that.
One more nade attempt.
Got it lopsided.
Over on the side of ESG now, they are being stuck by the corner, and they gotta make a move. Payback though! One great shot, and now Apple's on the hunt, and they are just clapped right there, leaving only Buta behind. He's gonna go in for one more lob, and Superlet survives! Somehow he survives!
Oh my goodness me, that nade is destroying the whole time. ESG is down to only one person. Apple is really making it hard for ESG.
Oh, Apple, now he's definitely the NBA superstar here, ladies and gentlemen. And now we do see here Luxy on ground. But look at this. He-Hawks looks like he's been knocked out by Jojo from a distance. And now Naoki will need to fend this off for his team in the same compound with similar structures. Looks like we have multiple teams here. It's going to be really difficult. Bloodbath is going to happen.
Oh, that's definitely going to be a really noisy neighborhood in a little bit more. But right on the corners of the jungle, we do see inside the forest, Tonewell needs to actually find a way to squeeze through that really tight corner against Geek fam. And mind you, EVOS has been waiting. The Tigers have definitely been in their habitat. And speaking of which, that's going to be Jojo here soaking a little bit more damage. And NED has got themselves 10 kills in the bag.
Oh, now Jojo looks like he got knocked there, and now he needs to be helped. But at the same time, Atai 10K and ESG have been eliminated. Back to the lobby. Atai still keeping sights on all his opponents. All the smoke goes out. This is the moment. Atai stealing the kill away. Fate. There's more that he can take on. Actually, just look at the crosshair, but it did not connect this time. Atai may take another shot. Looks like who needs a scope? Who needs a scope? Atai taking out baby Jim.
Me. Expert Romeo just have to butt and get that kill for himself as well. They're just literally food being munched by all these predators around them. And the rest of the team, we only have 6 teams left. Net is kind of hard to reach for the rest of the team. Now, XPERT on the other hand, only have Dylan to work with right now. Geek kind of sandwich wow. At the same time, EVOS VIP is already looking down on them. So this is the hardest part to go for WoW Tone White. But Net managed to get and Palace get back on XPERT Romeo. So there's only literally one person left, and Net Lux is just going to charge right in from flanks.
And we can already see 15 kills already in the back for the side of NED, and they are raking one more, getting that headshot over the side of EVOS Esports. 4 more teams left alive, and it's Geek Fam, EVOS, and of course we have NED with the highest kill volumes.
Oh, the kills now going nuts here, ladies and gentlemen. Net still maintaining 4 team members. Luxy throws out the Molotov. This is the moment where they need to use their utilities well, because the circle is just unkind to everyone.
And just now the crosshair landed straight in front of the line of Ty there. All one whole group of EVOS VIP, but he's just missed it. He got it just now, but he didn't have a clue. They're actually crawling right in front of him, and he thought it was a smoker. Nice baiting there by EVOS VIP. On the other side, Net is trying to get another kind of approach here, dividing 2 by 2 with going from the side of flanks for both sides. Question is, do we have enough manpower to go? So many teams looking at Ultra managed to get one, and they're gonna finish off He-Hawk straight away, and the rest of Geekman trying to help him, but they are being punished straight away. Naoki is really the hot. That was a nice
Oh, he's getting himself cooked up, and Heiko needs to heal up in time, popping up the first aid kit, and the rest of Geek Fam now getting crushed out as they have entered that Tiger's Den. But NED now, knowing that they have some room, they will go in for a little bit of push here, as we see Luxy98 spots out the final member of XP.
Yo, Dylan now still maintains out, but not for long. Now we are down to 2 teams, ladies and gentlemen. And now April has eyes on EVOS. They know where they are, but who's going to make their first shot? EVOS, there's only 2 members, but Putra is now knocked down. Kuza will be all alone. They will rush for it, and winner, take a dinner to Net!
Whew, that was a tough one to play, especially Geek Fam, Yoodo gang. Wow, in the middle, there's also XPERT and Dylan, the last person to just have to hold responsibility for the rest of the team. But congratulations for a great gameplay. Net, brother, did you guys see how they make a last-minute formation coming up from the sides there, making sure they surround every team and get all angles possible?
Well, I definitely would say that that house got themselves so much advantages where they only have to do get that perfect PK advantage, and they just sniped and sniped. Did you see that streak going in for Atai? That was I don't even have a single word to describe. He just got every single shot landed towards the head. Members of EVOS, members of a side of XP also got pinned down as well. Anyone coming from all these directions has all been clamped up. And let's talk about those nades as well. Throw it at the back, where one entire squad just got deleted right there.
From what I see, they almost made it look easy for them. Grenades was easy, the snipes was easy. We can even see, like, the moment Chicken Dinner comes in, camera pans over to them, they're like, oh yeah, we got a Chicken Dinner, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's just a we got a chicken in. They really were shouting at the back and trying themselves so much to get the kills. But just in case you guys want a bit of a recap, let's jump into the highlight very soon.
Of course, we're going to head in towards that